Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City Council chambers and call this meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Holyoke City Council. It is Thursday, May 9th, 6:05 p.m. I've received a couple text messages from councilors telling me they're en route. And we don't have a clerk this evening. I am the clerk this evening, so I will call attendance. Councilor Anderson Burgos.
Here.
Councilor Bartley. Councilor Devine. Councilor Greeny.
Here.
Councilor Jordan. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Here.
Councilor Murphy-Ramboletti's here. Councilor Ocasio.
Here.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Councilor Jenny Rivera.
Here.
And Councilor Sullivan.
Here.
And Councilor Bacon.
Here. What about me?
Oh, what? I said your name, Councilor Givner.
No. Oh, here.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm not the clerk, really. I'm just filling in. Big shoes to fill. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. The purposes of tonight's meeting is called in collaboration with Mayor Garcia to present the annual State of the City address and the fiscal year 25 proposed budget. And so with that, I am pleased to introduce Mayor Joshua Garcia. There he is.
Mr. Mayor, I'm virtually shaking your hand.
Madam President, Madam State Representative is here with us today. Councilors, thank you so much for the opportunity to address you tonight. I appreciate everything that you do every single day for the citizens of Holyoke. I'm also grateful to our incredible staff, some of whom are with us here tonight. You do the hard work, often overlooked work of making sure that government is doing its job, making sure the people of Holyoke can enjoy the services they need and deserve. You are truly the guardians of our local democracy, and I couldn't be more prouder to work alongside with you every single day. And I say that during Public Employee Appreciation Week, but understand for me, every week is Public Employee Appreciation. Big thanks, of course, to my wife, Stephanie, and my family, whose patience give me the ability to do this work. And as always, I want to express my appreciation of the people of Holyoke. We often think of history as a series of decisions made by the very powerful. We think of presidents, we think of our legislatures, even our innovators, as well as our entrepreneurs. We think of grand narratives of progress and even decline. But we all know that on some level that this kind of history doesn't capture life as we all live it. In fact, it actually doesn't capture it at all. Because in reality, the heart of the soul of any community is the people. Folks you might not read about in the textbooks or even once in a while in the papers. Here in Holyoke, I have to say, and I think everybody in this room agrees with me, that we are truly blessed day in and day out by citizens who are just trying to do the right thing. Folks drawing on a shared reservoir of goodness. People taking responsibility for making our community stronger, more vibrant for the next generation. It's my hope that when future generations recall this moment in our history, they will see that we were determined, decent people that we also face challenges and we're not defined by them, that whenever we're knocked down, that we get right back up. When I last addressed this council chambers last year, I described some of the concrete steps our local government had taken to right our financial ship. And tonight, I'm proud to report over the past year, our financial position's only getting stronger. We've kicked off the comprehensive master planning process that's gonna guide the city for the next 25 years. The budget's balanced, city services are being delivered and not reduced. State of the city is strong. Last year, I also talked about post-COVID economic comeback, and I mentioned how the hydropower capabilities of our dam and canals were attracting the interest of some of the industries of the future. Today, thanks to good governance, smart policy, from the local level all the way up to the Healy administration, our governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that interest has been transformed into new businesses here in our city. For example, Sublime Systems. This company develops a fossil fuel-free, low-carbon alternative to traditional cement. We'll soon begin construction, so on its first commercial manufacturing site right here in Holyoke. Cement is the key ingredient in concrete, and today, its production, get this, its production is responsible for 8% of global CO2 emissions. Sublime Systems is working to change that. That is not only great investment for our city, it's a reminder that environmentalism and economic growth can go hand in hand. Another example, let's not forget about Clean Crop Technologies, based in Holyoke since 2021. Clean Crop helps increase crop yields, reduce food waste, improve food safety, all while reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Clean Crop was built here. It's growing here, having built a 14,000 square foot facility in the Warren building, a former paper mill right on Dwight Street. Just last year, both of these companies, Clean Crop Technologies and Sublime Systems, they were named in Time Magazine's list of America's top green tech companies. With these companies and still more to come, and they're knocking on our door, folks, we're showing that America's economic future is now, and guess what? It's happening right here in the city of Holyoke. This, to me, is a sign of a healthy community. New industries wanting to set up shop here because they know they can succeed here. Another sign of a healthy community is the presence of quality housing on that front. Too, we're making some important strides, and there's still so much more to go. The need is strong. In the past few short years, we've developed over 100 new housing units, and we're looking forward to seeing more in the very near future. By the end of this year, we're going to see the completion of Wayfinder's Phase 2 project, known as the Essex, which will consist of an additional 41 plus affordable housing units along the Chestnut Essex Street corridor. And I must thank this council body for authorizing the Community Preservation Act funding to get this project over the finish line. In these new housing developments, in their mix of new development with the rehabilitation of existing infrastructure, we see the brilliance of what the city's founders gave us. And not just the founders, but also the workers who wielded the picks and shovels and picked together our infrastructure brick by brick. And finally, a sign of another healthy community, and we're working on it, is when a community has the ability to invest in itself. This has been my core message ever since my days as a candidate. If we can only get our financial house in order, then we can finally make the investments the city needs to grow and thrive. The kinds of investment any self-respecting city should be making. And together, that's what we've done. With this council, we've made critical investments in our government infrastructure, some of which are still underway. We helped equip our government to meet the needs of modern economy, and we made the capital upgrades that will help us improve the quality of life for everybody. And we took the transformative step by a vote of this council unanimously to approve the building of a brand new middle school, a school worthy of our students and their dreams. This step is a clear message. The kids in the Holyoke Public Schools are all of our kids. Their success is all of our success, and we're all in this together. It's a message that the state has finally heard and even understood. Acting Education Commissioner recently announced that Holyoke is officially on a path back to local control of our schools. And I want to thank everybody who fought so hard to get us this far. And I ask you to keep the fight until local control is finally achieved. Across every important metric, Holyoke is solidly and decisively moving in the right direction. Our local economy keeps getting stronger. Our schools are on their way back into local hands. Our budget is in a surplus for a third straight year, and we didn't need to use any reserve free cash or ARPA revenue replacement to fill any gaps. By the fall of '25, our kids will enjoy a new middle school. And in the coming years, thanks to tens of millions of dollars of private investment, if we plan this right, the city will welcome a brand new state-of-the-art sports complex poised to do wonders for our local economy. This is a record that we all should be proud of, the members of this body. And I'm grateful to everybody in this room who helped make these things happen. I didn't do this on my own. In the coming year, with the budget that I'm presenting tonight, that's in your packets, we have a chance to further strengthen our city's finances. And I am once again providing funding for a new city position, the Chief Financial Administrative Officer, also known as the CAFO. Creating this position is consistent with the recommendations of the State Department of Local Services, and it will help us operate with a more accurate and precise financial forecast. So I'm calling on the council to please, let's not wait another year and get this done. I'm also asking the council to place on the ballot the question of making the treasurer a position appointed by the council. These recommendations are not new and are part of my efforts to strengthen financial controls across all departments. So please, let's not wait another year. One new item you'll notice in this budget is funding for a professional accountant overseen by an auditor over at the police department. This was one of the recommendations of last year's audit of the department, and along with the new crime analyst, it will help the Holyoke Police Department make sound fiscal decisions as they continue to protect and serve our community. And of course, this is the time of change for the department, with Chief Pratt just recently announcing his retirement. And I want to thank the chief for his more than 30 years of service to the people of this city and for being an outstanding partner in our pursuit of a safe and just Holyoke. Congratulations, Chief Pratt, on a well-deserved retirement. And I am so much looking forward to working with my police relations advisory team to help choose a worthy successor. And more on that to come. If we can take these steps together, I'm confident that we will continue to build on the progress I've outlined tonight. But even as we acknowledge the progress we've made and are still making, I'd like to use the remainder of my remarks to reflect more on some ideas that have been on my mind, heavy on my heart, a lot actually this year. A little over 6 months ago, Holyoke found itself on the national spotlight. Not for any of the good work we've done, but because of the menace of violence on our streets. A stray bullet struck a public bus, wounding a pregnant woman inside, Selena Santana, killing her unborn son, Ezekiel. For many readers, this awful crime, this moral outrage, senseless act was the first thought of our beloved hometown. That's just a fact. And just last month, if you haven't read it, the Boston Globe published a profile of another member of the Holyoke family, Puerto Rican woman named Nereida Badillo. It's an important read that describes Ms. Badillo's painstaking efforts to buy her own home and provide peace and security for her 3 sons. The obstacles she faced will be familiar to many of our fellow Hoyokers. They're familiar to me, as well as my family growing up. When she finally purchased her own house, Ms. Badillo cried tears of joy because of the vast economic inequality of her city, the house she bought was in a part of town that she tried to avoid, a part of town still troubling, plagued by crime and violence. And soon, her middle son was picked up with a gun. This woman who had played by the rules, she did everything right, made every sacrifice imaginable, still unable to get free of our history's painful racial and economic legacies. So, even as we acknowledge and celebrate our progress as a city, we can't allow ourselves to look away from our people's struggles. We can't use favorable statistics to pat ourselves on the back. Narratives of progress and decline can only tell us so much. We have to remember the people's particular lives and what they can teach us about what we owe each other as fellow members of one community. We can't talk about our visionary founders without talking about the Irish and French Canadian and Polish laborers who toiled to make their vision real. We can't talk about an improving school system without talking about how hundreds of our students experience homelessness each year. We can't talk about a declining crime rate without acknowledging that we have parents who are afraid to send their kids outside. We can't just wish these things away. We can't accept these realities as inevitable. Allow me to read to you a headline from a different edition of this very same paper, the Boston Globe, and I quote, "Rebounding Holyoke's battles bad reputation," end quote. That was from November 25th, year 2000. Here's another Globe headline about Holyoke, and I quote, "Idealistic young mayor hits bump in city's recovery," end quote. They're not talking about me. Certainly not talking about my predecessor, Alex Morse. This was published in 1999 about Mayor Saskovich. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying no progress has been made. Hoyokers don't quit. Hoyokers keep pushing. That someone from South Holyoke community now serves as the city's mayor is proof that Holyoke can change. That we enjoy a city council as diverse as ours is today is proof that Holyoke can overcome its painful past. But I am challenging us, all of us, from my office to this council and every single city department, to think about why stories written 25 years ago sound like they could have been written yesterday. And I'm asking, what are we going to do to make change that lasts? If we need to demand more of our state and federal partners, then that's what we'll do. And we've been doing it. Am I right, Rep. Duffy? If we need to demand more of ourselves as local officials, we're going to do that too. Now's the time. Those of us in the room, those of us in this room that care to be here, pay attention, watching from home, we share a special love for this community. I think we've shown that. And we have all, in our own lives, all of us, I don't care who you are, what corner of the city you live, we've all have faced tragedy and suffering. Our lives together are too short, and the work before us is way too important for us to spend another moment on the small or the trivial. I'm preaching to the choir. We know these things. And if we ever forget, we can look at Selena Santana, who, by the way, out of her personal tragedy, has advocated for ways to make all of us safer. Things that we've already heard before. Things like more tenant protections, better housing options, more investments for our youth. We can look to Nereida Badillo dancing the night of way at our Fiesta Patronales de Holyoke Festival, dancing in defiance of despair. These are the people. This is the Holyoke that I do this work for each and every single day. And we learn from their examples, and if we summon what is best in us, the story of Holyoke will be bright and full of promise. You know why? Because we're going to be writing it ourselves. You have in your packets the budget. We have our hearings that are coming up, meeting with each department. Looking forward to work with you to get into the new fiscal year and continuing to build our community. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless the city of Holyoke.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia, and thank you everyone for being here, department heads, members of city boards and commissions, and other stakeholders. We appreciate all of you showing up, and I know that I speak for everyone when I say we're looking forward to budget season. As the mayor mentioned, we do have our budget hearings scheduled May 16th, May 28th, May 29th, June 10th, 11th. So tune in, looking forward to it. With that, I will entertain a motion to receive the proposed budget and lay it on the table.
So moved.
Motion to receive.
Is there a second? So motion has been made and seconded to receive and lay on the table the proposed budget. All those in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone. I will entertain.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.